Hey everybody, it's me, Dasher D, and a Ginger. Come here. Come here. You all know my assistant Ginger, the canine Dasher. Before we get started, everybody, why don't you paw that like button? Yes, Ginger City kisses. And if you're not already subscribed, give me hit that bell and hit the red subscribe button, and so you'll know every time I upload and make a new video. And yeah, so thank you for tuning in. This is another story time. I kind of really need to vent. I was dashing earlier with Steve, and he wanted some alone time with Sarah, his wife, and Ginger, the canine dasher, and we went out dashing, and we basically just did dinner shit tonight. But Steve quit about it was like 6:37 or so, and I kept going, and I just ended my shift on a bad note. But I'm going to share this with you, so then if you come across an irate customer, this is how I handle an irate customer. I don't swear at them. I don't mouth off. I just apologize, and yeah. Okay, so here I'm going to start at the beginning. Okay, it was a DQ order for the same customer, but it was going to two different addresses. And there were some other issues with that order, and I'll get into that too. I'm still very stressed about it. I just got off the phone a little bit ago with support, and it was just horrifically stressful. So, anyway, I was at DQ. I know, don't take $4 orders and all that, but I was ending the night. It wasn't a big deal. But what I'm going to tell you about is a big deal. It's very frustrating. But, so I go into DQ. I get the first order. It's for, let me make up a name here because we don't, well, I don't think it really matters because you guys don't know where I live and you don't know the person. Their name was Heather. And Heather had a boyfriend. I don't know his name. And she did an add-on for her boyfriend. And hers was first, and then she did an add-on for her boyfriend or something. And I didn't, normally in my market, it's, if you have the same, it was like Heather, and they give you the last initial. But, normally, if they give you a name and it's the same last initial and everything, it's normally the exact same place, exact same person. Oh, no. The first order I dropped off is to the boyfriend. And they put all the sandwiches and everything together because, obviously they're not the ones delivering it, so they don't have the address of the person. And they both didn't go to the boyfriend's house. I didn't look at the addresses, which was my mistake. But in my market, normally, if it's the same name, it's going to the same place. And it's usually pretty simple. Nope, not in this situation. One of the orders went to the boyfriend. The other order went to this woman. Oh my goodness. So, and I'll show you on my phone what she said. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but so I pick up the order. I get another order. It's a stack, an add-on, another $4 order. So it was an $8 order right here in town. It wasn't like that big a deal. And it was about ready to end my night. Normally you end your night about 9:30 here. You don't end it like 10, 11 normally, but this is the way I drug out because I was still getting orders. But after that order, the rest of the night is in mental health. Anyway, so I get the one order, and I'm waiting for the second part of the order, thinking this one is the same customer, same address, and then I'm done. No. So I get both orders, go to the boyfriend's house, and he tells me that it's past the police station, down the alley, which you're really not supposed to go down that way. It's actually one way. You're supposed to go that way, not that way. And I did it anyway, which is risky because there's always cops hanging out there, but nobody caught me. So that was good. But I tried to follow his directions, something about you go right or something. I tried. I looped like 5 times. The woman swears up and down that she saw me. Well, I couldn't see her. I didn't see her. She claimed she was out on the porch and, telling me the address like it was the easiest thing in the world. Well, it's dark. I'm sorry. I didn't see a person. I did hear somebody scream at me. I couldn't tell where at. But I looped and looped and looped probably 5 times. Could not find her. But the boyfriend got his. And it was just very, very confusing. And she's like, I'll read you guys what it says. I still have it because DoorDash said I could get a contract violation, but it'll go right off because I'll tell you how I handled it. I didn't respond to that. Here's what I did. Okay. It says, I'm on the porch waiting for you. And then it gives the address. I saw you drive by. Are you bringing my order? I didn't see her. As God is my witness, I did not see her. I looked right. I looked left. The boyfriend said that the GPS would mess me up. So I tried to follow his directions, but I couldn't remember them all. Because he was talking about different landmarks, and he talked about so many of them. I have ADHD, so I couldn't receive all the information. I tried. It's easier if somebody gives me directions if somebody else is there, and then they can remind me the directions. And Steve normally does most of the driving, and normally I'm fine finding places, but it's dark, so it's harder, and my vision isn't always 100%. I mean, I can see. It's not that. It's just hard to find people in the dark. I didn't see nobody on the porch. Dude tells me, the boyfriend from the first drop-off, tells me that you go up past the police station, take a right, then I think it's left, right, I don't remember, and then you should see wood steps. I didn't see anybody. I saw some wood steps different places, but I saw no people. I have no idea where this woman lives. I tried and tried and tried and tried my level best to find this woman. Could not find her. Not to mention, dude goes through the bag, and I said, I'm really not supposed to mess with that, but I guess it's okay since you're the boyfriend. But I made sure, and I'll get to the support thing later in a minute, but make sure I told support that the boyfriend tampered with the bags because I didn't realize they were going to 2 different addresses. And so they put everything together, and hi, Charlie. And it was just, the whole thing was so confusing. So it was not all my fault. And I may end up with a contract violation of non-delivery, but because of how I handled it, the support agent promised it would be removed immediately because I followed procedure. Okay, so here's what the lady did that, and I put, returned to store. I cannot find your house. They close at 10 p.m. I am sorry. I tried. I cannot, and I put not in all capital letters, find you. Question mark. I am very sorry. And she goes, literally, I just watched you drive by my F-bomb house. She broke the F-bomb word. Now we get A, F-bomb, B, hungry all night. Thank you. You know what? It's not my problem. You swore at me. You were very irate and very rude. And you should have put Heather on one and the boyfriend on the other. You should have made it less confusing for the dasher. You already confused me with these 2 addresses for the same person. That is so freaking confusing. And the order was mixed up. The boyfriend removed the burger, and it was out of the bag, and all that. And I did my best. But I thought, you know what? I'm actually relieved that order wasn't delivered because the boyfriend tampered with the food. And that's fine because they're boyfriend and girlfriend. I didn't do that. The boyfriend did. And he said it was okay because he was on the phone with his girlfriend right now. And that's fine. I'm glad he's the one that tampered with it because I don't tamper with customers' food. That's wrong. Not only that, but I'm not going to mess with a burger or something like that because I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat cow. That is my belief. I do not believe in eating cows, pigs, and all that stuff. Anything born or hatched and all that. Occasionally, though, I will eat fish. Occasionally. So I consider myself like more now like a flexitarian. But yeah, I like tilapia and I like cod sometimes. But yeah, I try not to eat it every day, but I get cravings. But I don't eat things with fur, with I don't eat pig, cow, or any of that. They're my friends, not food, as they said in Finding Nemo. Of course, they used to say in the movie, "Fish are our friends, not food." That's what the sharks said. But yeah. Anyway, so she said that, and I told her that, and she's irate, obviously. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see there, that's at DQ. I left the food on the counter. I went in a little frustrated. I said, "I'm sorry, I cannot find this house." It was 2 different addresses. The whole thing was confusing. I could not figure it out. So I'm returning the order. I'm sorry. And they could hear the frustration in my voice that I told them I was sorry. I said, "You throw it away, you keep it, whatever it is you do. I don't care, but I've had it." And I took a picture of the food and left. This way, then I have evidence. So, you have an irate customer. If you're like me and you hate confrontation, just return the food back to the store. That is 100% acceptable to DoorDash. So, if you have an irate customer swearing at you and like you can tell that they're irate, you sense it in your spirit, because I did. Just take the food back to the restaurant. Take a picture. Call DoorDash. I know you're supposed to call support in the midst of all that, but I was so stressed I couldn't take it. I literally circled like 5 times. Zoom, 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 zoom. Trying to remember the boyfriend's instructions, and I could not remember everything. And if I did pass her house, I didn't see her. That is her problem because she should have made it less confusing for me. The whole situation was so confusing. And I was, yeah, so confusing. I've had it. I just had enough. So once I took the picture, that's when, and I said, "I'm sorry, your food is returned to the store. They're open till 10. I'm very, very sorry. I really cannot find you." And they're like, literally, I often saw you pass me. You know what? I don't care what you saw. I couldn't see you. I looked left. I looked right. I kept looking and looking and looking. And the boyfriend said the GPS would screw me up. And I tried to follow his directions, but I couldn't figure it out. I did my best. And when I can't find something, it makes me mad. I know I let the customer down, but they let me down too because they should have made it less confusing. You should have put it in 2 different names. This way, the food wasn't mixed up. That was already confusing, so the food was tampered with. So when I called support, I made sure that I also added the boyfriend tampered with the food, not me, while he was on the phone with her. I don't tamper with customers' food. I don't steal food. I don't do any of that. That's why I also took a picture. So be sure, if you have an irate customer and you're just like, "Ugh, I'm fed up," take it back to the restaurant. Tell them. They'll hear the annoyance, but they know me in there. I've gone in there enough times, or Steve has, that I don't know them on a first name basis, but they know who I am. And I'm always polite to them. But I just told them, "I'm annoyed. I can't do this. I can't find it. I did my best. And I could not find it. And it was 2 different addresses, and the whole thing was confusing." So I returned it, and I told them I was sorry. I said, "If you want to throw it out, or whatever you do with it, fine." They said that they would hold it until they close. And I guess the lady didn't must not have had a car or something. I'm sorry, not my problem. I could tell you were getting irate, and I don't deal with irate customers. I don't, and I refuse. If you're PO'd at me and you start swearing at me, she didn't swear at me until I took it back, but still, I sensed it, and I thought I heard yelling down the road or something. But I'm not going to deliver to somebody who's irate. And I don't know if she would have hit me or screamed at me or what, but I didn't want to know. So, if you are in a situation where you sense the customer is severely pissed off, just be like, okay, you're going to be confrontational, and this was a hand to me. So, you knew it was going to be confrontational. I don't mind hand to me's. I prefer them normally, and I like direct contact with the customers, and I've had years and years and years experience with customer service, whether it be fast food. I was a historical interpreter for like 2 or 3 years at Roscoe Village. I know what it's like to deal with customers and hard situations and all that. But in this, you really can't speak your mind. You have to bite your tongue, then about it later, get it off your chest, sleep on it, pray about it, smoke some herb, and try to get a good night's sleep. But make sure if you take the food back, you tell the customer, I've returned the food to the restaurant. I've always taken a picture, and I've always called support. And I've always told them, this is what happened. I couldn't find this. I could tell the customer was going to be irate. I could tell this. I could tell that. And I don't do confrontation. If you're going to be confrontational, the food's getting sent back. And that is completely 100% acceptable to DoorDash. If you're having an irate customer and you can tell they're going to be irate and they're going to take it on you, cuss you out, hit you, whatever. I don't know. I don't know the woman. If her name ever pops up again, I'm not delivering to her because she could come back at this situation, put it on me, but this was on her because it was so confusing. You do not place an order, put it under the same name, and put 2 different addresses because the Dasher's automatically going to think it's going to the same address. Don't think that, because I learned that tonight the hard way. It might go to 2 addresses. And it might be somebody with the same name and the same last initial, and it could be going to 2 different addresses. So check your addresses. I learned that. But she was still wrong in all of this because it also confused DQ, and they are top notch. Out of all the fast food places, I'd rather deal with them. They're calm, they're relaxing, they offer you a drink. They're like the nicest people you'll ever meet in my market. I would take DQ orders all day long. If that's all I got, I'd be the happiest woman who ever walked the face of the earth because they're fabulous people, always upbeat, always smiling, everything. And that's the way I am when I go in there, and they know me like that. Now, I come in there annoyed, and I give them back the food, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't find it. And they said, hey, just do us a favor, just let them know that it's up until 10. And I took a picture so that they knew that I didn't take the food. Document it, take a picture. So, that is my rant. If you have an irate customer, you know that they're going to be confrontational. You can just discern it out. Take the food back to the restaurant. Take a picture, call DoorDash, and send the picture to the customer. Then it's documented. So if you and then I just hit complete because as far as I knew, that was complete, and I was not willing to go back there and try again because I did it at least 5 times. I circled. It was Locust Street, but I'm not giving you there's a million Locust Street. I'm not telling you where it is, but I couldn't find it. I did my level best, and I vented the whole thing to them, including how the boyfriend tampered with the sandwiches, which was okay because they're boyfriend and girlfriend and because it was under the same name, and DQ was just as confused as me. So they understood, the support understood, and they basically said it wasn't my fault. And it was reported, not delivered, and all that. And they said, this is not your fault. if you get a violation, this is what you do. And they asked me, do you think you know what to do if you get a violation for this? I said, yeah. I said, I will tell them that I returned the food to the restaurant. I said, I didn't think I still had it on my phone, but I do. It's still under my text messages, so I'm saving that in case I get a contract violation. They can say all they want that they saw me, but I didn't see them. I did my very best. But when I can't find something, I get really pissed off because I get pissed off at me. I get pissed off at the customer for not giving good directions. The boyfriend tried to give me directions, but I got confused. I had a feeling this was going to be confusing. So, if you have an irate customer, just return it to the store, take a picture, tell the customer that it's been returned. Make sure you take that picture. Something told me, take the picture. So I took the picture, sent it to the customer, apologized, told him it was returned to the store, told him how late they were open if you're dashing at night. Then I called support and I told them exactly what happened. And they said, if you get a violation, it'll be off within 2 or 3 days. It'll come off immediately. Because basically they told me I did the right thing. They would have preferred I would have called them, but I told them, I said I was too upset. I just wanted rid of it. So that's what I did. So if you're in a situation where you have an irate customer and you cannot find their address, maybe you should call support first. But I was so angry I couldn't think straight. So all I could think is just take the food back to the store, take a picture, notify the customer, and then call DoorDash. I said I made the decision on my own to just take it back. I said I didn't steal the food. I said you can call DQ. They'll tell you that I left the food with them. I said I even took a picture, and it was sent to the customer. And you know what? Here's what I say. If you're going to scream at me, if you're going to curse at me, then I'm sorry. You deserve to go hungry. I hate to be like that. But I'm not going to deal with somebody who's going to scream and yell and curse at me. I'm not dealing with that. It's not in my job description. I explained this before. I said I'm not confrontational. I'm not going to go after them or do anything crazy. I'm just not that kind of person. I vent, I go on. But I'm venting to you guys. You can, haul that like button and you can leave me a comment if you've dealt with something like that. But that's how I chose to handle it. I didn't ask the customer for help. If I can tell the customer's getting angry, I don't ask for help because I don't want more confrontation. I don't like it. I will not do confrontation. So, I probably should have called support first, but I was too upset. But the agent was really nice. They were telling me to take deep breaths and calm down and everything would be okay. And I told them everything that happened, and they were really nice and very sweet. So just call support if you have an irate customer. If you sense they are, you always have the option to taking the food back to the restaurant. Take a picture so that it's documented that you didn't steal the food. Not that you're going to, but there are dashers out there that steal food. So document it with a picture. Even tell the restaurant what happened. Tell DoorDash what happened. Cover your ass. Okay? So I hope you learned something from this. I hope this is helpful. If you're a new dasher, if you have an irate customer, I would not deliver it. If the customer is very irate at you and you can tell, you can sense it. I've been doing this 3.5 years on and off because I was deactivated once. So, and it was over. I don't even know still what it was. It may have been order not received because I forgot to take a picture. That was at least a year ago, but I, set up a new account and they merged it and I got back somehow. Just in time to be in my market, like in my hometown. So, yeah. Customers will be rude. If you can tell that they're going to be confrontational and you can't predict how the customer's going to act, don't engage in confrontation because you could be deactivated and you don't want to be deactivated. So, I know more of you are more full time than I am. I mean, I dash as much as I can, and my leg hurts. It's been hurting, like my knee. I'm continuing to have knee problems, so pray for me. But yes, if you have an irate customer, just take the food back to the restaurant where you got it, take a picture, notify the customer, call support. Because if you take the food back to the restaurant, it's always okay. If like I said, I don't want to get in a confrontation. So if I sense I'm going to get in a confrontation, like they're going to start a confrontation, I just take the food back to the restaurant. That's probably happened a handful of times since I've been at Asher. I can only think of this is like the second or third time this has ever happened where I've had to return the food to the restaurant. I think one time I tried to return it because I couldn't find the customer. They were freaking out, and I was in Zanesville, and I'm not familiar with that area. And I used to dash in Zanesville all the time, and they acted like it was the easiest thing in the world. Well, it is if you live there. So, yeah, so I ended up keeping the food, but I didn't consider that stealing because the restaurant was closed, and I tried to return it to the restaurant. I mean, I could have left it outside, took a picture, but, it would have just got nasty. It's not like a homeless person would have found it and ate it. But, that was one time where I ended up keeping it really without permission because the store was closed. That was the only time I ever did it without asking because the store was closed. Well, wait, there was one other time and there was no way I could return it either. It was an apartment complex. I couldn't reach the customer. They tried to tell me to leave the front desk. There was no front desk, obviously. I don't live in New York. I don't live in a big city where they have that. Even in Zanesville, they don't have that. And the place was not well lit. It was very sketchy. You couldn't get them on the phone. The phone number didn't work. So really what they kept trying to tell me to try, and I just finally said I delivered it, even though I didn't, and they never reported it as not delivered. But that was the customer's fault 100%. I mean, you need to make sure you have a working number. I know this is like heading on to 30 minutes. A lot of venting. But it just depends. But if you're going to have an irate customer, just return the food. Take a picture, call support. Call support in the midst of it is what I should have. But I was so angry I couldn't think straight. So it's always okay to return it. So if I get a violation, I'll let you guys know. But support said that I could because it was reported not delivered. But it's okay because I did the right thing. I even told DQ what happened. That I tried my best, and I said basically the customer was going to get irate. They were getting angry. So it's best just, if you have a confrontational customer, just take the food back, take a picture, call support, notify the customer. Actually, I maybe didn't even have to notify the customer, but I just wanted to tell them I'm sorry, I couldn't find it, and I returned it to the store, and if she wants to scream at me over text, just get off my nose. It was her fault for making the order the way she did. If she goes hungry, I'm sorry. Dude, go find an apple. You've got to have food somewhere in your house. Go make some popcorn, something. You could have ordered a pizza and they could have found you easier. Not that I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm just very frustrated with this still. So, I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you for listening to me vent, guys. And leave a comment below if something like this has happened to you. And God bless. And yeah, I always take the food back to the restaurant if you have an irate customer. It's better than having to worry if somebody's going to beat you up. Because the way it sounded, I don't want to end up having to call the police or feel unsafe or something, and I don't know what would have happened. So be safe, guys. If you sense confrontation, just return the food to the store, take a picture, and call support, and send the picture to the customer. So don't argue with the customer. I just, all I do is I apologize to them or whatever. I don't get in arguments. I tell, if they don't have something, if they get annoyed, I just tell them to call support. I don't get in confrontations. I don't, you know. Real quick, the other night, the customer didn't. They sent me a picture of drinks only, and they didn't get their food. They said you didn't bring me my food. I give you whatever the restaurant handed me, and in that case, it was McDonald's, and they didn't give me the whole order. So I contacted support, let support know what happened, and then as I quickly texted that customer and I let them know, I said, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to look inside the bag. That's what they gave me. If you have any problems, please contact support. Because, I just let her know that I don't pack the bags and I can't open a sealed bag. And I'm sorry, and she needs to contact support. Because you're not responsible for what they hand you. Because you can't look into the sealed bag. So, that's what you tell them. And if you sense that they're going to be irate, contact support. And if it's really bad and you can't find a place because it's not lit up enough, I kid you not, 5 times couldn't find it. So just take it back to the restaurant. They can tell support that they didn't get it, but I took it back to the restaurant. I didn't steal it. So anyway, thank you again for listening. Leave a comment below if this has happened to you. Thank you all for watching. God bless.